I've come here to Adventure Moto Brisbane. Adventure Moto Sydney. I was just driving past because I need to get a new tyre, and because this one is cactus, more so around the other side. And yeah, I saw the sign, I thought let's pull in. I was heading somewhere else, but Destiny's brought me here. What's your name?
Steve Smith here, mate.
Steve Smith. What?
Fantastic. So it's Neil from Unbuckle Adventures.
Yep.
I'm Steve Smith from Adventure Moto. Fantastic. So Neil, this is the shop, and we're here at Dural. We've got a shop up in Eagle Farm as well.
Yep.
We've got our warehouse is Unit 1. We've got our shop in Unit 3. And we've got the tyres for bikes business that we're associated with next door. And I think you've just bought your DR.
Yes, I have.
Wheel in to get re-shod, which is fantastic. And we might go in there in a minute and I'll run you through some tyre choices for that bike.
Sounds good.
And look, we're all about adventure, and our mission is to help riders, give great advice. And I think when you came in earlier, I had no idea who you were, but I was all about making sure you understood the compromises you have when choosing tyre. I can share that with your viewers. Our shop is about adventure, so all the gear we sell is for guys that are riding adventure. We're not a motorcycle supermarket. We're an adventure niche branded shop. And
Yep.
I started this shop 15 years ago before most adventure riders understood what the term. I started out with gear because no shops in Australia had anything to do with adventure.
Yep.
And so I was looking for soft luggage to go on my old BMW at the time, and
Yep.
I reached out to Wolfman Luggage many years ago, and Wolfman have been around for 20 odd years. The first to bring in Wolfman luggage, the first to bring in Giant Loop. We now make our own adventure bags, ADV Works.
Oh, okay.
And so we do TPU soft luggage. TPU is 5 times stronger than PVC.
Okay.
And we also distribute Klim, which is the really well regarded sort of adventure riding gear, Gore-Tex, waterproof. The last thing you want when you're riding is to be heading out and then all of a sudden it's raining, got to stop, put your wet weather gear on.
I have that exact problem.
You just zip it up and keep riding.
Oh, can you show us that?
Yeah, I'll show you that. So we also do Seat Concepts, which is another brand.
Yeah.
But let me show you some of our Klim gear. So Klim is really well regarded for how, and look, they do jeans and leather jackets and they do vented jackets, but we're talking about mesh that is 6 times stronger than nylon. It's really, the Klim produced the only AAA rated adventure jacket in the world, which is the first company ever to create a textile jacket with that level of slide rating.
Yep.
So if you understand rating, you've got CE armour, you've got level 1, level 2, which is the thickness and the impact resistance of the armour. But then you've got to have a slide rating, which is A, AA, AAA. Jeans are like a B or a C. They'll peel off you like a banana skin.
Yep.
But this A3 suit has got the same slide rating as a MotoGP race suit, so full leather.
So you're good when you.
So if you go down the road, and it's all to do with how long can you slide for before it starts to wear through, at what speed.
Yep.
But this is the duck's guts of and this is the Badlands suit. This is our top selling suit. So if you have a look, this is a triple layer Gore-Tex Pro. Now Gore-Tex Pro, as opposed to standard Gore-Tex, it breathes a little bit more.
Yep.
And you've got vents. So in your jacket, for example, you've got back sleeve vents, front sleeve vents. You've got vents down the bottom of the sleeve.
On those hot days, you can cool down.
You've got sleeves at the side, sleeves at the front. So you've got like 12 vents on the jacket, which certainly allows you to cool down. Now, some of your YouTube subscribers would know Dave Darcy from Mad TV. He's also been doing filming for a long time from London to Sydney. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he did a trip in Russia with the Badlands, and I said to him, Dave, how was the suit? And he goes, Steve, it was -10 in Siberia and plus 40s crossing the Georgian sands. Same jacket, different layers. So these suits you can live in them, and it just depends on how many layers or merino or whatever you do. You can manage the environment,
cold or the heat.
you're in.
Yeah,
and that's what Klim is all about.
Yep.
And they do sort of road style jackets as well, and hipster style jackets for guys with buns in their hair that won't fit in their helmets. And jokes.
Yeah, no, I like it.
But look, so get your guys to look up. And this is a Krios Pro helmet.
Oh, so they make helmets as well?
And the main difference between this helmet is if you have a look inside, I don't know if you can reach your thing. You can see the green, looks like honeycomb at the back of the jacket. Most helmets just have a composite or a carbon fibre shell.
Yep.
And they would have a foam layer. This is what they call choroid.
Yep.
Yeah, you see how it's been squashed there, to give you an example. So this would crush in before the energy goes through into the foam and then into your head. These are the first helmets, I think Shui now does a couple, with the choroid in them. And it creates a crush plane. And what that will do is take out 40% more energy out of an impact. So if you've had an impact in your helmet big enough to crush the helmet, the choroid absorbs more energy, so there's less chance of getting a brain injury. So people say, why is a Krios Pro helmet $1,200? Well, it's because you've got that additional protection. You've also got a transition lens. You've got this great magnetic, so there's no trying to buckle. You just clips on. It cannot come undone until you pull this little red tag.
Yeah.
So there's some great features in this helmet that you just don't get in other helmets.
Yep.
And this is our top selling helmet.
And that's the same brand, Klim, right?
Klim. We became the Klim distributor about 10, 12 years ago.
Yep.
So as I say, I've been doing this a long time. Klim are looking for an entry into the Australian market. And again, adventure was only a sort of coin term, and Charlie and Ewan did their long way round. And I love it that my 20-year-old son is now an adventure rider, and so the market's getting younger for us. So I always used to think it was just old blokes.
It's very much shifting now.
I was an enduro rider, and then all of a sudden you get into want to do longer trips and hang out with my mates and go to the club. We're seeing a lot more women get into it, and a lot more younger riders getting into it.
There's a girl called On Your Bike or something, and then Itchy Boots as well. There's a few YouTubers as well.
My wife, Jen, and she's a young 50-year-old woman, and she just did a 10-day ride to Arkarola and back on a WI250R.
Oh,
her
really?
girlfriend broke a leg somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and she kept riding that.
Yeah.
Like so, it's great to see women getting into it, young guys getting into it. My son Max has got himself a KLR 650 and loving life. So
anybody got a DR 650?
Look, I've ridden a DR 650 around New Zealand, so I can say I've had a fair few miles on a DR. Great bike, and people like Barry Morris, he's still riding DR 650s, and I just did a ride, the Scrap Heap Adventure ride, out to Galaganbone to raise money for Down syndrome just this weekend. And it was great to see there was a bunch of guys on DR 650s.
Yeah, it's a common choice now.
Yeah, but let's go in and have a look at tyres.
Yeah, sounds good.
You got some Vince Strang.
Yeah, so I actually went there and worked for him, and that's where I started the YouTube channel. Yeah. Doing some shows this is where he let me rebuild this bike at his shop. Yeah. But I did it in an unbuckled fashion. I want it to look like it's come off a scrap heap.
I don't know what Vince is going to do because they stopped making these.
Yeah, well, he's got a few in, but he's going to do rebuilds.
Yeah. This is the Tyres for Bikes. Now, Tyres for Bikes was a Queensland operation, and they've been around since 1978. And we formed a relationship with Tyres for Bikes, and they ended up buying the business out when Rob Turton retired. And we've got Eagle Farm, Tyres for Bikes, and our Adventure Moto shop up there, and we've got Tyres for Bikes Sydney, and we eventually will hope to open in Melbourne as well.
Eagle Farm in Brisbane?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go to Adventure Moto in Brisbane, Sydney, and soon to be Melbourne as well? Yeah,
that's the plan. And then, and we associated with Tyres for Bikes, and we're also associated with Ride ADV, which is the ride company Greg Yeager operates, Greg and his crew, and we've been involved with Ride ADV and sponsoring Greg's rides since they commenced. And he's a very professional, runs a navigation ride. And the thing about Ride ADV is you've got weekend rides, introduction rides. So if you've got people that want to learn about adventure, it's not a training course, it's about getting out on a ride and actually stopping and starting, and people with experience giving you advice on the ride. What else? Compressing it off.
That's all good. Makes it real.
It does keep it real. But for example, the next ride I'm going to do with Greg is Brisbane to Sydney. It's a bridge to bridge ride. Fantastic. So I always say to people, some of the best riding in Australia is on the east coast. Between Sydney and Brisbane, or Brisbane and Sydney and Melbourne. Because you've got the high country down between Melbourne, but up even just north of Sydney, up to the mid-north coast, you've got some beautiful, great dividing range and ducking in and out off the range and down to the flats. Great. So let's have...
Just finished up here at Adventure Moto, and tyres for bikes. They're in Eagle Farm in Brisbane, as well as Dural here in Sydney. Really recommend them. He just Adventure Moto. Soon to be in Melbourne. Check it out. Stay unbuckled.